Hi, I am Amma Duncan, founder of the Fabulous Woman Network. Before 2015, I was that broke girl who was stuck in her own limiting belief of not enoughness. Marianne Williamson's words, "You are a child of God," woke me up, and then I sought help to work on myself. I still invest heavily in my personal development, and so much has changed for me in the most incredible ways. My burning desire is to see an Africa in which women are empowered to thrive and impact people. I am a trainer, coach, social entrepreneur, author, and an event organizer who help others with their personal development so that together we can all thrive as fabulous children of God. Mind Your Business is our weekly podcast where we share enriching content to help us thrive. It's free on YouTube, and if you prefer to work with me one-on-one, go to amaduncan.com/store to book a discovery call with me. The link is in the description below. Guess what today's episode of Mind Your Business is? Yes, I can eat this bowl of Kenkey. What is Kenkey even? For the sake of the non-Ghanaians listening, it's a corn swallow, and it usually goes with tasty, spicy pepper, fried fish, and ooh, it's so delicious. If you're in East Africa, it's a bit like your ugali, but ours is made from corn. I don't know what you make yours from. But anyway, once I visited a friend, a very dear friend, and she offered me a bowl of Kenkey. Gan Kenkey, it's so delicious. Oh my God. So anyway, she offered me this bowl, and I looked at it, and even though I really, really love Gan Kenkey, it scared me because you know what? It was big. The biggest bowl of Kenkey I think I have ever seen. I looked at it and said, of course I cannot eat this. It's too big. And then I had a thought, okay, let me divide it into smaller pieces. So I divided it into 4, and then I took one which was like half the regular size of what I would eat. And I thought, oh yes, this I can handle. So I started eating. She served it with delicious pepper and then fish, and we were talking, and I was eating, and then I finished it. I was like, oh, you know what? I think I can go further. So let me go for another chunk. So I went for another quarter of the Kenkey. I was eating, we were talking, and then I finished that too. And I was like, let me do another one. I've come this far, I'm sure I can do a third one, right? So I went for the third quarter, ate it, we were chatting, and then now I was like really, really full. But I went into the kitchen, I was about to put my plate down. I was like, you know what? Come on, I'm almost done. It's just left with one small piece. I mean, she doesn't have a dog to give it to, so if I just leave it, we've heated it and everything, it will go to waste. Let it go to waste in my stomach. And so Amma Duncan sat behind the final piece, and then I ate it. Oh my God, no regret at all. It was delicious. Anyway, next day I was sitting at my desk, right here where I'm recording this episode. I was sitting at my desk working. I had totally forgotten about the Kenkey, and I was working, and I looked at all that needed to be done for work. I had an event, we had a retreat coming up, and I had some other work, some clients I was serving, and honestly, I was sitting there feeling overwhelmed. All of a sudden, this thought came into my mind. Remember the bowl of Kenkey? I was like, the bowl of Kenkey, the one I had yesterday. What did I do? I divided it into chunks, and it wasn't scary anymore. Ladies and gentlemen listening, this is how a bowl of Kenkey taught me how to achieve my goals. The key thing here was to break them down into smaller chunks, right? Break your goals down into smaller chunks. I was able to conquer that ginormous bowl of Kenkey because I broke it down into pieces and tackled it one at a time. And so it's the same principle for the goals that we've set for ourselves. This year, this month, this quarter, today, break it into smaller chunks and tackle them one at a time. So let me use an example of a current project I am working on with my team. You may know, you may have heard that we are doing iFab Conference 2023. So iFab is International Fabulous Women's Conference, and we are having the 2023 edition right here at Fab Hub Ashanti in Abuabukese, Kumasi, from the 3rd to 6th of March 2023. Now, for me, it's a big deal. Like, anything to do with our women is a big deal for me, right? And so I look at the enormity of it, and then I kid you not, my heart is going boom, 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 boom. But what can I do, and what have I done? I've broken it down into each day. So there are 4 days, typically 4 days of events. So I start by breaking it down into 4 days, and then I can further break it down each day into activities. So depending on, because we're already aware of what we do at these events. So I have broken it down into day and then activity. Then I ask myself questions like, okay, how do we want the end result to look like? So what is the picture of that activity for that day? How do we want it to look like? Another question that needs to be answered is, how do we want to go about it? By God's grace, we've had 8 years or almost 8 years of experience behind us with regards to organizing events for women. So we know the how, right? And so we can call on our experiences to bring the answers on board. Another question is, what needs to be done? Okay, with regards to this goal that we are looking for, this activity that we are looking for, what needs to be done? Another question is, what do we want to achieve with this particular activity, right? So for instance, if it's going to be games, well, what are we looking to achieve with the games? Another question I want to ask is, what resources do we need? Just before hopping on this call, doing this recording, I was on a call with someone to help me get some items that we need for the sleepover bit. Yeah, did I just mention sleepover? Yes, there's going to be a sleepover during the conference. So what resources do we need? You get it? That's a good question to ask. Then whose help do we need? Very important. I have recognized that there is no way I can achieve anything alone. I need lots and lots of help. And by God's grace, He always brings the right people to support me. I am supported by the right people everywhere I go. I thrive. I just had to bring in that affirmation. So whose help do I need? That's a good question to ask. Another question is, when is our deadline? When do we need to achieve this by? And many other questions that are relevant to this activity. So I take my time, answer these questions, and then this is how I plan. Right? This is the same principle if you are working on multiple projects. Like currently, actually, I'm working on multiple projects. Apart from the iFab that I'm planning for, I am serving 1, 2, 3, 4. I have about 4 clients who need my attention in January. And I know I am super busy in January. As a matter of fact, I was telling a friend that my 2023 will start after April, because I know that's when the activities will hopefully reduce a bit and I can take a break. And so the point is, even if you have multiple projects, you break them down. So you name each project and then tackle each project at a time in terms of the planning. And then this helps. Once you start doing, you have a roadmap. Now, I'm not saying that everything you've written on the roadmap is going to work to perfection, but you know what a roadmap does, and is so important. It helps you remember what needs to be done so that you can stay on course, because there will be lots and lots of things happening all around you, and these things can sometimes distract us, but we need to stay on course. So what brings us back to the course is that we have a plan. We already know the different things that we want to do. So even if you don't have a clear idea of everything on your plan, you start by breaking down your goals into chunks, and then start to picture each chunk and how you want it to look like. Ask yourself these questions: what needs to be done? How do you want to go about it? And yada, yada. And then little by little, you get the bigger picture all put together. Okay, I have many other tips on how to achieve our goals. But for the purpose of this episode only, I want you to just focus on this one particular tip of breaking down your goals into chunks and tackling them one at a time. And if anything helps, for me, what helps is I just remind myself, look, if I can eat that ball of Kenkey, that ball was ginormous, so if I could eat it, surely I can eat this 2023 ball of Kenkey too. I believe. You know what? Because I also know I've got God by my side. I have God and I thrive everywhere I go. You have God and you thrive everywhere you go as well. So repeat after me. Yes, I can eat this ball of Kenkey. I didn't hear you. Say it again. All right. So before I sign off on today's episode of Mind Your Business, I have 2 reminders for you. First, iFab 2023, that's our International Fabulous Women's Conference, is happening from 3rd to 6th March 2023. For those of us who live in Ghana already, we know 6th March is always a holiday. That's the final day, and we have our trip planned. Of course, I'll share lots of the other details with you. But for now, know this. The theme is Dear Woman, Be Well to Impact. And it's happening at Fab Hub Ashanti, our hub where we hold events and others in Kumasi, Abuapokese to be precise. I'll definitely share more details with you. And also the second information I need to share with you is that Mind Your Business is a free resource. Did you love today's episode? Please let me know in the chat what you think. And of course, feel free to share it with others if this has been of value to you. If you prefer to work with me one-on-one, if you want my attention for a whole 45 minutes to help you unblock your mind, if you are trying to think about something and you feel stuck, or you feel stuck in your life, or there's something you need to do and you need the help of a coach, or you think you need a trainer, it all starts with a discovery call. Go to amaduncan.com/store to book a discovery call with me. Until God willing, same time next week, I look forward to seeing you. Okay, I won't see you. I look forward to you listening to me and sharing my episode of Mind Your Business. Ta, toodles, bye.